know I try to be a good man. I always give it my best. But truth be told, I wanna go to the wild, wild west.
And now, live from our smokehouse studio, it's time for Real Estate Jerky. All your real estate questions answered by our provocatively lean expert hosts, Ed Parcaut, MBA veteran and president of Lending for Living, and the refreshingly wise realtor, Erin Custer, specializing in residential, commercial, and ag real estate at PMZ Real Estate. Mortgage and real estate wisdom stretching over 50 years. Plenty to chew on, starting now.
Hey, it's good to be here this afternoon with you and with my co-host, Erin Custer. And we have a special guest here today, Dale Boyett, co-founder of the Boyett Petroleum Make Dreams Real Endowment Fund, and his daughter. What's your daughter's name, Dale?
Reese.
All right, say, how you doing, Erin?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Dale? Awesome. Erin, so what's going on with you? You want to talk about your best thing this week, or?
Sure. So this week, the sun came out. Yay. And
about time. I'm wearing shorts for a reason. I'm tired of the winter. Okay. I'm done.
I thought you just wanted to show us your tattoo on the back of your leg.
I don't have a tattoo.
Yes, you do. Anyway, so it's been a hard week because we have so much business happening. And so, I mean, this is serious business. And everything that you do leads up to deals, and we're doing the deals. And so it's been a opened to close and past closing week. But last night, I had to go to the Manteca City Council because we have this project that we're trying to get approved. I didn't understand that the City Council could actually kill your project. Like, you could buy a piece of land, go to the engineers, get all the plans, do everything, and they can vote you down. I didn't actually understand that could happen. I just thought you had to comply with the city's, all of their requirements. So anyway.
So they voted you down?
No, but they asked me to speak about it, and I got to talk to them, and it was really an amazing experience. And so then my client gets to build her project, and I'm so excited for her. So that was the best thing that happened for me this week. How about you? What's going on?
For me, been working with a gentleman to buy a fourplex for himself and his family because they want to get into investment, and helped him get into that this week, and that's what was good for me because it's nice to see people not just have the one home to build personal wealth, but additional real estate so they can grow their portfolio.
And that's what it's all about for us. So that's good. I'm really excited about that.
Now, Dale, we didn't say ahead of time, so we're throwing it.
No, absolutely. Well, I went to St. Mary's College, and last night the St. Mary's Gales knocked out the Gonzaga Zags, the number one team in the country, to get into the NCAA tourney. So that was pretty cool.
Wow.
And personally, we got counters this week. We've been remodeling our house since August of last year, and we're almost there. So
wow,
pretty exciting.
That's a good week.
So
yeah,
you can actually almost start eating in your kitchen again.
Yeah, almost have a kitchen.
Yeah.
We've been on the camping stove for 8 months. So
and eating out trail.
Yeah, a lot of Traeger. A lot of Traeger.
There you go.
What are your countertops?
What are they?
Yeah, what are they made out of?
Quartzite.
Oh, that's
So
what my
leathered quartzite.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it
Isn't
really
that?
is. Yeah.
It glistens. It's the prettiest thing I've ever seen in all the counters. I just experienced one with one of my listings in Oxnard, and it is stunning. So great job.
Yeah, it's really really cool stuff.
Yeah. So
Wow.
good job.
All right, so let's get right into your listings and keep going.
Okay, so just so you know that right now in San Joaquin County, we have 996 residential properties on the market, 579 properties in escrow, and 391 closes. In Stanislaus County, there's 807 properties on the market, 481 pending, and 345 have closed.
That's really nothing still. That's
we
horrible.
don't have
we have no inventory.
Half of inventory. It's crazy.
So what is the number supposed to be?
Well, you should have like 3 months at least, 3 to 6 months.
Yeah,
worth of
so
inventory.
typically a balanced market is 6 months of inventory. So that's probably 2 months of inventory because you
Not
heard the
even
numbers
2.
closing
Yeah.
at 400, so it's not even 2. So that's the problem is we still don't have enough inventory. Mm-hmm. It's not going to change. I mean, stuff I've been reading showing that we're going to have a market like this till we're in the 20 to 40. It's crazy. We just don't have enough inventory. We're not building homes like we should be over the last so many years. Still not. So this whole thing that people see that we're going to go down, we're not. And I'm sorry, I'm taking up her minute, so I'll shut up. Go ahead, Erin. Sorry.
No, did I say that? No, I was.
I just heard it. I could feel it. I could feel it with the eyes.
Daggers?
Yeah.
No. Just waiting for your cue. Okay, so I wanted to talk about some luxury properties that we have on the market right now. And in Manteca, we have 836 Glen Abbey. And that's a property I've been featuring for the last 2 weeks. And it's gorgeous, a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house that is ready to move in. We also have a 92-acre parcel, and this is at 1410 Fruit Road in Lathrop. And this is an old farmhouse. It's a 3-2 with 92 acres that you can pick up at about the $3 million mark. Another luxury property that we have right now is 5.7 acres in Mountain House. It's on Grantline Road, and it is a 2007 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. Beautiful property, surrounded by parcels that can be picked up as well. The other property that I was loving today was a property in Spring Creek, on Spring Creek Drive in Ripon, and it is square feet, 4,617 square feet. It's renting for $1,199,000.
Real small property.
Well, I think the house takes up the whole property, but it's right by the golf course, so who cares, right?
Yeah.
Best backyard ever. And then there's a lot for 14.8 acres, and it's actually a great commercial lot in Manteca off of Union Road, and that's running for a few $1 million as well.
So basically, you're real big into acreage this week.
I love the farmhouses. I love the farmhouses with land. So that's what I'm loving. Also, I saw a couple of laundromats that Marlene said I couldn't talk about that are $200,000, but anyway.
Good thing you didn't talk about them.
I'm so glad I didn't. So if we wanted to get to some of our first-time buyers in Manteca, I can't believe it, that this week there's probably 30 different properties right now under $300,000, which is unheard of because the average price in Manteca is $550,000. So at 524 Sequoia, there's a small little 2-1 perfect first-time buyer property. At Martha, there is a 3-2 for $299,000. On Hemlock, there is a $239,000 home, and it's almost on an acre. And that's a 2-1, a perfect first-time buyer program where you can really expound on it. And then on Falmouth, there is $260,000 for a 2-1. And there's a pretty remodeled home on Almond Drive in Manteca for $274,000. And then 284 on Camphor Street. Those are the Manteca properties that I was really loving this week. And then I also had in Lodi, this is my favorite for the whole week. In Lodi, there are a pile of homes right now. And if it was me and I was going to invest in property, they call the Lodi the new Napa. And you could pick up these little gorgeous little homes and make them all Airbnbs and be off to the races. But right now, there's a property for $220,000 on Walnut. There's a property for $250,000 on Forest in Lodi. There's a property that's move-in ready for $256,000 on Stockton Street, and then one for $265,000. And all these are going to be on our website. But I'm telling you, I probably have 10 properties in Lodi that can be run into Airbnbs right now. Forget the first-time buyer. Stay at your parents and buy this house and make it an income property for you.
Just move into it.
Yeah, okay. And then in Modesto, a pile of properties right now. Tons of homes that are between $300,000 and $400,000, but then probably 30 or 40 that are under the $300,000 mark. We'll have those all listed on our website. How about you, Ed? What's going on in the financial industry?
Well, you didn't leave much for me to do that before break. But anyway, the Mortgage Bankers Association talked about the application volumes up again this week. So for purchases, we're up. We're over of last year. So that's showing that we're going to have a very strong spring coming up. Consumer Price Index came in within the normal. They thought there would be their Producer Price Index also. And also, you're looking at the 30-year mortgage rate decreased from 4.67 to 4.64. It doesn't sound like much, but basically it's just showing that our mortgages or rates are right where they were a year ago at this time. So everything's good to go forward from here. The only thing is small business people were worried about what's going on. They're not actually hiring more people right now. They're holding off to see how this is after what we just went through in January with the government shutdown.
Yeah, but I still think it's encouraging. We have good interest rates, and it gives people more buying power. And let's go get it right now while the getting's good.
Yeah. Well, and basically what you know is we have a lot more to talk about later. Let's go out to our break right now.
All right.
All right. Hey, we'll be right back after this break to get to know this incredible and reliably newer fund, Make Dreams Real, and it gives us about $200,000 annually to programs for children in Stanislaus County. Questions or comments, dial pound 250, say the keyword Real Estate Jerky, and you'll be connected. And that's why you say pound 250, say the keyword, and we'll get connected. We'll talk to you later.
Boy, that one like by fast so fast.
Well, you were just talking and talking. I thought you were going to do all 800 of your the listings that are out there.
Huh?
All right, it's all you now.
So is there actual commercials going right now? Or?
Well, no, they're going to come back and we're going to start all over. I was finished early. I wanted to leave some extra for the afterwards. And he still does this while we're the behind the scenes.
All right, that was 10 on the dot, so this next one will
that's pretty
be
good.
12 minutes.
All right, so 12 minutes. Brent, come in and we'll start asking you some questions. Erin, you got your questions ready?
I have a million questions.
No, you got the questions ready?
I have a million questions.
President, right? You're president of Boyett Petroleum now, right?
Real Estate Jerky is back on Power Talk 1360. Chew on that.
Hey, we're back and here with Dale Boyett. He is the president of Boyett Petroleum. Also, he's a co-founder of Make Dreams Real Endowment Fund. Listeners, in case you're wondering why we talk about making dreams real for children in Stanislaus County, it has to do with home ownership. It's simple. Resources like Make Dream Real and companies like Boyett Petroleum that create and administer them are what make these communities great in Stanislaus County. And it's great to live in, work in, invest in, especially as a homeowner. So, Dale, both Erin and I have been involved with Make Dreams Real in the past. Every year I handle one of the courses for you. And why don't you tell us a little bit about Make Dreams Real?
Well, I'd love to, and thank you for having us today. Well, first of all, Ed, for years you've been involved. God, how many years? I wouldn't even know.
I don't remember.
You've ran the second golf course. So Make Dreams
It was
Real.
the third year that we were at
Saddle
Yeah.
and Greenhorn.
Yeah.
So Make Dreams Real is a concept that my father really came up with. And at one time, we just had a golf tournament. And like most golf tournaments, you make 20 grand and you give away 20 grand. And we had some friends in Wisconsin that were putting on this golf tournament. And every year, they would only give away a portion of what they brought in. And now they have over a $10 million endowment. And they give away over $1.5 million a year. And we went, wow, we ought to try to do something like that. So we had a goal of raising $1 million endowment in 7 years. And we actually shattered that. We have over $2.5 million. So not only do we have the money we're giving away from the golf tournament, but we have the money we're giving away from making money on the investments, which, the investments may go up and down. And so this endowment grows, and the endowment is all for the children of Stanislaus County. It is not for any other purpose, but programs for kids in Stanislaus County.
So what was the first program you gave money away to?
We got involved. One of the things that we got really fired up about was sixth grade camp. Here it is. The Stanislaus County owns a camp in the foothills, and we couldn't afford to send our own kids there. And we just thought that was really horrible. So we got fired up and trying to figure out how to get the kids of Stanislaus County up there. So we started working with some of the smaller school districts to start with, the Empires, the Salidas, the Stanislaus Unions, Riverbanks, just because Modesto City Schools is such a massive district.
Right.
And over time, now I think almost all the school districts are going back up to Foothill, which it should be. I mean, should be able to afford to send our own kids to our own camp that we own.
You would think.
You would think, but that wrong has been righted. Since then, we do everything from music programs to the Boy Scouts to you can name it, just all sorts of programs. First Tee,
Modesto Sound, Modesto Symphony Orchestra, Society for Disabilities, Stanislaus Family Justice Center, Tuolumne River Adventure Club, Waterford. There's a whole list I can go through.
And any valid program can apply for a grant, and we have a board that sits down once a year. In fact, if you're going to apply for a grant, it's by March 15th, and we sit down once a year and we go through it all, and we award it all on first part of April, and so everybody can do their budgets and know right where they stand, and
And you normally give out 10% of the fund, or we haven't even got to that yet, right?
We don't have a set number. Okay. We try to take every program at its merit. We've never turned down a program that we thought had good merit. It is about service learning, so we want there to be some type of service work component that the kids have to do as part of it, and every program has to track some type of results. There has to be some results base that can be tracked on the programs. But I want to say we've never turned down something. We have approved the great majority of programs that have come through and asked.
What did you give away last year?
We gave away, I think, $205,000.
That's amazing. So, Erin, do you have any questions? Hold on, let me turn your mic on. I left you off so you couldn't talk.
You know what, Dale? When you have a successful business in this community like you have, It's good manners when you give so much back to the community to make it a better place for people to live. And I just wanted to say thank you for your service, because I've watched how you've embraced your dad's dream, and it just makes me really love your company. I go to the Boyett gas stations. I love it. They're clean. They're inventive. You go in, it feels fresh. The interiors are great, and it's almost a wonderful thing just to go put gas in my car. So I just wanted to tell everybody out there, please go out and use Boyett Petroleum gasoline, and all of that stuff is a ground source for everything that this man does for the community. So thank you. Can you tell us where you're at, all your stations and where they're at?
Well, I couldn't tell you where they're all at, but the cruiser stations locally are probably the ones that most of your listeners would see. We also run the Quick Serve brand. We also have a lot of Valero stations. We supply about 500 stations in the state of California and Nevada. Most people think of us as a local retailer, and we definitely are a local retailer. But, for the 170 people that work at Boyett Petroleum, a lot of them are working on our wholesale side of our business, which is involved in all that. And that's really where, the advantage is. You got to think the business locally is we contact all our vendors. So a lot of that endowment fund is really coming from money outside the area. It's coming from our large suppliers and the large vendors we do business with that believe in us and know it's, of course, good business to do those things. And they come for our large event, and they give their money. And where does that money flow? That's flowing from outside the community into the community.
But I have seen that you guys were involved way before the endowment in the community. Yeah. Like, I remember I have a friend that she has me help serve in some of these things, and you would use your gas stations as a ground point zero for Be Green, so they could collect old pieces of technology and dispose of it properly.
We've tried all sorts of programs,
and even on the dog parks that are in town.
The dog parks, that was through Be Green.
Yeah,
First of all, I just kind of love the fact that the Petroleum Company was running the recycling program for the city. So that's always giving me a little chuckle. But yeah, it was a great program. One thing about being in retail is the cruisers gas stations, they're out there. The Carter McHenry, Kiernan, Klaus Brigmore. I mean, these are corners. Obviously, gas stations are in places that people go by and drive by a lot. So they're good places for facilitating something like a drop-off station or things like that. We could have a little bigger parking lot for some of the Big Green. It's almost better for like a supermarket to do it, and I think O'Brien's is taking it on now. But just because they have more room in their parking lot, we're a little. Gas stations only have an acre or so for the most part, but it was a great program, and it's still a good program. And then we looked for something in the city. We partnered with the city of Modesto and the dog parkers. There was a group that wanted a dog park, and the city says, well, okay, figure out how you're going to fund that. Mm-hmm. And we did. It was a good collaboration between the city, the dog parkers, and Boyett, Be Green.
Well, I've watched you, when you go to the stations, they're clean and safe. So that has to be a whole company-wide force. And I was wondering how you came up with how you make everything so fun with your company and how it operates.
Just trial and error. We're never afraid to try something. And if it doesn't work, just stop and do something else. It's a company-wide culture. And I don't know that I can completely explain it, but it does just take. You just got to always be out there and trying something. And yeah, you got to, investing more in your sites brings back even more. So you ought to always be making something better. We're getting ready to redo. We're talking about redoing, Claus and Briggsmore. It's only 10 years old. We're like, it's tired looking. Mm-hmm. It needs to be completely redone. That was our amazing image 10 years ago, where you're looking at it going, it's not. And the world expects retail to be very fresh. Retail is evolving so fast and changing. If you're not fresh, you're left behind. And if you have 10 sites, you think, well, I got to redo 10 of them. I mean, that's one a year. And
right.
That means it's 10 years old.
And you keep doing it.
Yeah, which is fine.
Which is
fine for your house, maybe, to be 10 years old. But in retail, it looks 10 years old.
I also noticed that when I worked on one of your golf tournaments years and years and years ago, there were a lot of volunteers. And then I found out, and then after a while, they didn't need my help anymore because all of your employees got involved. And I thought, this is a dream that became a reality because people bought into it. Tell me how the feeling is at your work and how they promote all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the employees are very proud of it. While operations still have to go on that day, we do attempt to get as many of them out there as possible. And it used to be, we would let more employees play golf. If we went from one golf course to 2 golf courses,
How many now?
We would have. We're sticking to 2 this year. We were doing a 9-hole course also, but the Del Rio's redoing one of their 9s this year, so we have a little bit of an issue there. But so we're just going to run 2 tournaments, 2 full tournaments this year. But we've taken back. So almost none of the employees play. I've quit playing in the golf tournament. So really, we're out there volunteering and going around and really greeting our guests. You know, that's one thing. You play golf, you can only talk to one foursome. So we sat out last year, myself and my buddy Charlie Dahl, who helps me put on the tournament. We said, we're going to talk to every person just to thank them today for coming. And most of them I know, but some I don't.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Well, Charles Dahl runs Omega Pacific. He's a great man. He has a great company too. So, okay. So, when you were, I was reading about all of your background here, and tell me more about are you still working full time with Be Green, or you said you laid it off to the?
yeah, we are not doing Be Green anymore, but I believe it's still going on with O'Brien's.
It was there like a few weeks ago, for a month ago, was at the ones.
So, what do you see the future of your endowment? Because it's already taken on a life of its own. Where else do you want to reach out that you haven't touched?
Well, I mean, it is for the kids of Stanislaus County, so we don't plan on expanding past that point of the county, but there's a lot of needs in this county, and we want to keep fulfilling them. So there's no reason to not keep growing the endowment. So Boyett underwrites all the expenses. So your donation goes 100% to charity. And we don't have any board that gets paid. Ed sits on it. He knows. Right. We meet. We do it all. So there is 0 expenses. You donate $100, it goes 100%.
There's not very many like that.
Hey, can we pick this up when we get back? We got to take a break. So
Sure.
let's remember where we're at, and we'll pick it up when we get back.
Okay.
Hey, as a veteran myself and Erin supported military family members, we always honor veteran business owners during the show. Dale, do you happen to know a business owner who is a veteran of the armed forces? No big.
I'm sure I do, but I can't go off the
That's
top of my
okay.
head.
Don't go away. We'll be right back, and we'll talk some more about Make Dreams Real and how you can get involved. Talk to you when we get back. Sorry, we always put them on the spot. All right, Erin, guess what?
I'm listening to you, and I'm not even leaving.
Erin, it's you.
No, I was listening to him, and I spin off because it's so exciting what you're doing in the community.
So when we come back, we'll bring up where we get left off about the board and how everyone's involved, and we'll talk about where they're at this year and all the different things like cornhole and everything else you're doing. And then we can talk about.
All right, so next one will be 12 minutes as well.
So we got 12. So like at 11:30, that's when we got to go out. So we have another break.
That way. When you
Yeah,
tell
I'll
me to
just
stop,
tell them. Yeah,
I'll stop.
All right. Erin, you're bringing us in.
Real Estate Jerky is back on Power Talk 1360. Chew on that.
Okay, we're back with Del Boyett, who is an amazing citizen carrying on his father's legacy. We're talking about Make Dreams Real. There are incredible opportunities for children's organizations with this, and for listeners to golf or donate. So how do our listeners get a hold of you, and how do they get involved in your endowment and your golf tournament?
You can just go to makedreamsreal.org. Is it com or org? I think it's org. And register. But if you go to Boyett Petroleum's website, you would find us, or you could call our office. But there is still spots available for golf. And I guess partially what people need to think about, this is really not a golf tournament. It's actually 6 different events that take place over about 30 hours. So we start out the night before, and we have a couple hundred people for a cornhole tournament. That's something new the last couple of years. And so, the problem with a golf tournament is there's only so many damn spots for people to play golf. And we try to limit it so it's not a 6-hour round. We try to keep it fun and fresh, but you can only get 25, 30 people on the course reasonably. So we try to come up with lots of other events. So for the last year, we did a cornhole tournament. So this year we're having 24 teams. Ed played last year.
That's correct.
There were some cornhole sharks out there.
Yeah, they were.
There was some tough competition. I think this year is going to be really interesting. This year we're adding a bocce tournament on the day of the golf tournament for people that just want to go out there and play golf. People can just come to the dinner and pay $100 and just come to the dinner. You could just we have a helicopter ball drop where we use the sheriff's helicopter and we drop golf balls out of it. The closest one to the hole wins a prize. But for $50, you can buy that. For $100, you can buy a ticket to Carl's Wine Cellar. It's 50 bottles of wine, and we draw a ticket out, and somebody wins 50 bottles of wine. Which is hard to carry home, by the way.
Yeah, and it's good wine.
But
it's
yeah,
not like,
it does. Yeah,
it's not like at the crab feed where you get those wheelbarrows full of wine.
You know, the thing is how do you manage to have enough events going on that can draw in a bigger crowd than just golfers? Because while I love golfers, I'm a golfer. It is a limited crowd, and you just want to get more out there than that. So Cornhole's become a big event. And then we even have an after party after the whole thing's over. Go to Nino's till about 1 a.m. So you can really make about a 30 or 40 hour event out of this if you want to.
Take your vacation.
Yeah, I'm done at 5 p.m. though.
I
start early in the morning on that day.
But Dale, why don't you give the phone number to your offices so that people can call and get more information?
Yeah, 209-577-6000 and ask for Annie.
All right.
It's probably the best thing to do.
Yeah, Annie's good.
But you go straight on our website. You would find us and all the registrations online. And we've been working on the website. It's really in good shape. We're having a really good seamless success for people to register in the line this year. So
we always ask people to give their number twice because sometimes it gets fast and past them.
Sure. 209-577-6000.
And ask for Annie, right?
Ask for Annie.
Okay. So, it sounds to me like you are a successful business running smoothly through the year, but you also work on your giving all year. So it isn't something that just happens once. So you were talking about how people can get involved in each individual portion of this endowment situation. But during the year, are there things they can do?
I don't know. I mean, the board meets during the year. We work on right now the endowment really working. We don't have too much to do in the fall, but really from January 1st till now, it's game time. And Annie in our office is full time on this right now. But we also, we're thinking about it all year. We are, anytime we're sitting around like, oh, that'd be great for the golf tournament next year. So, everybody that plays always says, oh, that's by far the best tournament because it's ran so smoothly and we've been doing it so long. And, people like Ed who've been out there for years too. He knows I run this course and this is what I do. And so when people come out, everything's just perfect.
So they don't have to wait till the golf tournament date. They can get involved now. They can get on your website and donate now. And 100% of it goes all toward the charities for the kids.
Yeah, we would take donations at any time.
Okay.
Sometimes we get those, but mostly it is around the golf tournament time. But absolutely.
When is the tournament?
It is May 15th is the Cornhole tournament, and May 16th is the golf tournament.
And the 16th. Okay, so I wanted to ask you.
How many teams so far in the cornhole?
I think we've got about 11 or 12. 24 is our number this year. We've expanded the field from 16 to 24.
I got to verify with my wife to make sure we're playing, but she said last time we are.
Oh yeah, no, you're in.
I'm in now.
You're grandfathered, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is the Bucky Ball tournament part of the?
That's at the golf. That's at Del Rio.
We're going to do that at Del Rio for people, especially that want to show up that day that may not want to play golf. We've done a 9-hole tournament the last couple of years, and a lot of people really thanked us for doing that because maybe they don't want to play 18, but they still want to participate. This year, just because of work being done at Del Rio, we're not going to do that until they fix one of their 9s. But that's their choice. So you got to take it down for maintenance. It's it's long range planning on their part. Which will be great for us. But Del Rio Country Club and Oakdale Golf Course have been so supportive of this event.
Yes.
And we do need to give them a shout out because they really are supportive of getting this done.
Now, what courses did it start at when this started? Because I remember it started in 2009, right?
Yeah, we were up at Saddle Creek and Greenhorn. We played Saddle Creek, Greenhorn, and La Quintana for a couple of years. But it just was a long way to travel. It was a long way to get all the supplies up there. And I'm sure you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
It was a long way from ice if you ran out. It was a long way.
Simple things,
it was a
right?
long way from things. We started having Jack Frost bring up ice machines because we were like, all right, we just need everything. And we just wanted to get closer to home and to volunteers. And Del Rio really wanted it. They actually don't do private events on days other than Mondays, but this event has been allowed and embraced by Del Rio Country Club because people can see what it does for the community. There's not many golf tournaments that give away over $200,000 a year, and actually have an endowment of $2.5 million. That's growing.
Right.
Talk to me about your amazing silent auction. I love your silent auction.
Well, and that's a great way to donate too. We'd love to take items. That's something people can do to help out. We're taking items all the time. We're excited about the silent auction this year because Del Rio's built this brand new huge patio, and everybody will be out there doing the silent auction and still being able to mingle with everybody. Used to be you had to go inside in the hallway because the patio wasn't big enough to do it all. But now they have this massive patio, so you'll be able to be right in all the action where the helicopter ball drop's happening and all the fun's happening, and also be doing the silent auction. We can't do live auctions because we have such a big crowd, and there's no sit-down dinner. Everything's stand up. You're having fun. You're mingling. We just want people always high energy, having a good time.
I remember some of the prizes were always like trips to Pebble Beach or trips on vacation somewhere or jewelry or something fabulous.
They completely vary every year. I've seen some stuff for some great winery tours this year.
Good.
And some homes and some other stuff. There's always some tickets here and there and golf foursomes that other people donate. Like I said, we're just getting items in now, so
anybody can come by for that, right? Can anybody come by and bid on your silent auction?
Yeah, for $100, you're more than welcome. Anybody can come just to the dinner. You don't have to come to anything else. You can just show up at 4 in the afternoon and get a dinner ticket and come to that. But also, if somebody wanted to donate an auction item, they're more than happy to. We'll take all the items. So.
Can you talk a little bit about the donations that you make to Camp Erin and Camp Taylor for kids' catastrophic illnesses?
Yes, we supported Camp Taylor for. Boy, it's certainly been at least 4 or 5 years now, I believe. Just like everything, we take all their grants in, and we just believe in very good causes that are here in the community.
I also saw that you donated also to the Society for Disabilities Bike Camp and the Stanislaus Family Justice Center Camp of Hope and the Tuolumne River Adventure Club and the Waterford FFA Ag Boosters Club and the Boy Scouts, and it goes on and on and on. So who is the committee that chooses where the money's going to go? Do you have a...
It's a secret committee.
Absolutely. It's not a secret. Ron Immersion chairs it, and Ron's been involved in the community for a very long time, even though I'm sure he's only maybe in his early 20s. But in fact, his son was just famously on the Today Show about a new book he wrote called Every Monday It Matters. But Ron is a great steward of this community, and it's very my mother Carol Boyett sits on it. Marianne Sanders, who was a great educator in the community. Myself, Charles Dahl. I'm sure I'm leaving people out. Nancy Taylor, the Bookers. There's 7 or 8 people that sit on it. They're all just part of our board.
Well, so far you're talking about all these different committees of people that donate their time, that are from this community, that give of themselves to serve their community. How is that not just an amazing thing? Are you just overwhelmed with all of the love and gift that you're given?
No, absolutely. And it's a lot of fun. We don't have to work that hard at it, as amazing as it sounds, because mostly you're having a good time doing it. So.
And Stanislaus County is known, the people in this area, for giving. Yeah. We don't have a lot, but we give a lot. So I was looking at anything. It was Kids at Camp, donating to Kids at Camp. Isn't it you take a certain amount of money to send a kid to camp?
Yeah. I mean, we say it's roughly $250. It varies if a kid goes for 4 nights or 3 nights. So there is a different price that the camp charges. We try to give it a simple number of $275 or $300 or $250 just to make it simple. But yeah, basically, and you can sell a kid to camp. Part of the problem when you're asking for money from somebody is something that you can explain. It's hard to explain some things, but say $250 sends a kid to camp. Somebody says, I get that. Right. I can afford that. I can do that.
Right. And so instead of getting involved, they can just do that. Right?
And it's something that's resonated. It resonates very hard with people. And we've just tried to get, I was on the Education Foundation for Stanislaus County at one time, and you just couldn't believe, how many kids don't get to be outdoors enough
in a community.
And we just feel that's so important.
But Dale, that's just a home run right there. Anybody in the community, anybody listening right now can call your office and they could donate 1 child to camp.
Absolutely.
And that couldn't hurt anybody. That's just the best service ever.
All right. Well, Erin, why don't you take us to the break? We'll bring that up when we get back.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
It's okay. You're just so excited in this.
Yes. Thank you for listening to Real Estate Jerky, where tough meets tender in the real estate industry. We'll be right back after this break. And every week I read a big long thing about how to get a hold of us, but really you can just Google us at Real Estate Jerky, Or you can hit pound 250 and reference Real Estate Jerky. We would love to hear from you. We would love for you to get involved with the Dale Boyett Endowment Fund. Thank you.
Or make dreams real, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is. Who cares? Oh my God.
And nobody's going to give me an endowment fund yet.
Yeah.
What is endowment?
Something in your teeth. It's a good thing you're not a Belgian. Endowment. It means it's donated to.
Oh. You should know this.
Good legs this morning.
So, endowment means it's pretty set aside for a certain
you did them
cause.
this morning.
I hope it helps. I hope this really helps. I think it's so
It
important.
was fun last year. I came on and who was I with? What was his name? The afternoon guy. On News Talk.
Oh, I don't know.
I can't think of his name.
But did you get a boost in your...
It's funny how people told me they heard it. But I was like, I heard you on the radio.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's amazing what you're doing. I used to help Marlene with a lot of stuff in the early years. And then one day she said, we don't need you anymore because your employees then were coming in.
Yeah.
And so I used to work up at Saddle Creek at those tournaments in the background, putting together all the gifts and stuff like that for the silent auction. We'd go up there with Carol DeVicki and myself and Marlene, and it was so much fun.
No, we appreciate it. I mean, it's taken.
No,
There's been a lot of people over a lot of years.
No, I know, and it was nothing. There's thousands of people in the background, but I just believed in the program. I believed in the Big Green. I believed in the dog parks. I believed in. One time I was at one of your gas stations, and we were doing that Big Green, and.
All right, so we got last segment.
Until they were bringing in the policemen were coming through your car wash and doing all of that, and I thought it was so neat that the whole police department got involved. It was really neat.
They've had people walked up and handed somebody $1,000 at Big Green, just walked off.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Last segment, 11 minutes. Is there anything you want to bring up that we haven't brought up yet? Just so we hit it.
We got everything on the golf tournament, right? We got the dates.
I'd like
and
to
times.
find out more about your dad.
Actually, I don't think we brought up anything about when the date of it is.
Yeah.
We haven't said the date, did we?
Yeah.
Did we?
You did the 16th and the 17th.
We'll mention it again.
Yeah. See,
Yeah, we would give his phone number, the dates of the tournament again, how to get a hold of him again, and then do you want to talk about your dad a little bit?
Sure.
Let's do
Real
that.
Estate Jerky is back on Power Talk 1360. Chew on that.
This is Ed Parcaut. I'm here with my co-host Erin Custer and our special guest Dale Boyett, co-founder of the Boyett Petroleum Make Dreams Real Endowment Fund. Glad to be back for our final segment. As we see each week, this just flies by, doesn't it?
Yes, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I know we talked about the golf tournament, and remind me the dates again because I don't remember them.
The tournament is on May 16th. The Cornhole tournament is on May 15th, the night before. You know, and part of it, we just talk about the history of the golf tournament. The tournament really started out as a Modesto Sunrise Rotary golf tournament, and my dad was always involved in the community, and he was a founding member of Modesto Sunrise Rotary. And after he was president, he said, "This is the one thing I'm going to do every year for Rotary. I'm going to put on this golf tournament." And him and Marlene, who was always involved in it from day one, the two of them, they've been there since the beginning of the whole thing. And it was simple. So they had this plan. Like I said, they raised $20,000. They gave away $20,000, roughly every year. And Rotary is still very involved in our tournament. That's how Ed's involved, and lots of other people that are still involved in participating in the tournament. And we still give back to Rotary because we know what Rotary does not only in the community but worldwide.
I think it's amazing that you could have two people come up with an idea and then go with it and turn into this big, giant, amazing gift to the community. I think it's wonderful. So tell us more about what's your favorite thing to do with this year that you're looking forward to besides the tournament. What are you going to do?
What's my favorite thing this year that I'm going to do?
Finish his kitchen.
Finish my kitchen, yeah. Cook. No kidding. That would be I told my daughter, now this is going to be live, so I'm going to have to live by it. When the house was done, we could get a dog. So that is
Any particular type of dog? A rescue dog? A certain dog?
Yeah, we're talking about a retriever. So I want to go traditional.
I think that just goes to show, we were talking about a lot of things, and he takes it right back to home, where the heart is, to the family. That's the most important thing anyway. And when you have a heart for that, it's easier to have a heart for your business. It's easier to have a heart for the community. You're just an amazing man, Dale. Thank you so much. I just wanted to thank you for your service.
Yeah, I remember your dad in Rotary. He got me involved with the golf tournament, and I play golf, but I don't play it well. I don't put in the time for it. So I wanted to give. So I gave through the helping the golf tournament out, and that's how I got involved. And
did anybody in this community ever say no to your dad? I don't think so. Huh?
I did.
And he also was huge in getting Gallo here, right? The Center for the Arts was huge.
Yeah, he was very involved in that. And that was probably the first really big thing that that we did as the company and his crew, and Carl was involved in that. He'd been president of the symphony, so he'd kind of been going through he'd done Rotary, he'd done the symphony, and this and that. And it got to the Gallo Center, and we made a 5-year commitment for the Gallo Center, and that seemed like that really blew up as far as credibility to be able to ask for things and do things, and then you start to see some of those other things. But you're right; it's if you're putting your money where your mouth is, it's a lot easier to ask other people for money because they can see, okay, well, this is what they're doing. Look what they have in the fund that we keep at the Stanislaus County Community Fund, which is another great program here locally that. Holds a lot of endowments for small and large organizations here in the county, and is something that's really, really amazing here in the county. And it just kind of went with it. I call my dad entrepreneurial kamikazeism. And, you're just going to try something and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, so just stop doing it and do something else. I think everybody just takes everything a little too seriously. And the whole point is to, have fun in business and life and
Well, Dale, I can tell you're such a good man. I was wondering, when you were a young boy, did you think, I'm going to grow up and take over my dad's business?
Absolutely.
Did you think that? See, we lose that today. No, but we lose that today. People don't want to do it. Their parents did. So what was it in you that made you want to choose that?
I don't know. Just, I was always interested in it. My dad always got me involved in it.
Even as a young child?
Yeah.
Did you go to the office?
Yeah, I went to the office. I started working there. I was 13. When I joined the company in the early 90s, we only had one gas station. Only had one truck. We had 10 total employees. And my dad had been bigger before and then ended up with a smaller company. And then I think when I got involved, he got really excited about growing the company again. And, and I've always stayed excited about growing the company. So
when you get two people together that believe in something and they're all in, you got to be all in. Really amazing things can happen.
Yeah,
so tell me about how many counties you're in and how many stations.
It's more like states, really. So because at this point, we've just gotten licensed in like Texas, so we're working on some exciting things that are out of state at the moment. But still, our corporate headquarters is here, and everything happens here. But 98% of our business is in California. But at this point, over half of it's south of the Grapevine. So we do a ton of business down there. But all those employees are here, and all that. That's what I want for the Stanislaus County is more corporations resided here because that's where they give, that's where they live, and that's where the good things happen. We all go to companies every day, and somewhere where their headquarters is, good things are happening for those cities and those communities, and we need more of that here.
And about how many employees now are with Boyett?
About 170 employees. So.
Right. So
when was Boyett started? What year?
Yeah, 1940 is what the. So we did our 75th anniversary in 2015.
Wow.
So that means your grandpa.
Yeah, my grandpa was involved in the business, and my grandmother was
really.
Yeah, they worked for the major oil companies back in the 1930s, and then bought a small jobber. That's kind of our slang word for petroleum. In 1940, and moved out to Modesto, and then it'd be a long story. Lots of rides up and down.
Yeah, but that's what good business is. You learn by your mistakes.
Yeah.
Well, and what's going on with the economy and everything else affects everybody, right?
Right. But it's still wonderful that people out there in our community can know that whatever they give you to take care of children in our community is going to go 100% there. And there's 1,000 ways for them to do it. So give him your number one more time, please.
Yeah, okay, our number is 209-577-6000.
Ask for Annie.
And Now, I remember this is one of the meetings you were talking about. Are we taking other people's funds? Like if somebody wants to give to the fund because they don't want to put their money into work, are we doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about that. The credit bureau gave us the very large donation of $1 million, which was.
But you already had that, right? How much did you have before they gave that?
Well, we had $1 million, and they gave us $1 million, and then we raised. Like last year was closer to $600,000 with investments, or that was 2 years ago. Last year was a little less. So, the stock market does what the stock market does. But the tournament on the day of the tournament, we raised about $300,000. And investments do what they do, and we give away about $200,000, and Boyett underwrites 100% of the expenses. So that endowment grows, and that endowment's going to be here for the children of Stanislaus County. If Boyett Petroleum was long gone, that's still here. That's still here in the community fund, in the community foundation. So
it's good to know.
It is there forever.
Right.
I'm just glad to know that people can trust you, that your vision for the future of this fund is intact. And it's true.
Solidly.
And we have another 5 years until it becomes perpetuity, or I can't remember. I remember the numbers. How much is it? 2025. We want to be at a certain number so that it stays.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about trying to put out $5 million goal or whatever. Like we said, there's no end. We have some friends that I went back and saw their golf tournament. They have it at 6 golf courses, and they give away $1.5 million in a day. And you went, wow, how do you get to that level?
By doing what you're doing.
Well, you got to get the golf courses on board too. That's one of the biggest issues.
Yeah, golf courses.
Because a lot of them don't do it on the day that we do the golf tournament.
Yeah, and you need golf courses that are in relative proximity, which is a bit of a challenge too. Just in general, that's not how golf courses are. So, we're not in Myrtle Beach, but where they're on every corner. But so it is a little bit of a challenge, and that's why we have to add these other events in, like Carnal. I mean, people had so much fun at the Carnal tournament last year.
It was fun.
They were like, "That's way better than the golf tournament. That was a great night." Okay, well, that's great. That's fine. We could, so you got to figure out how to spread it out and make it so people don't think they're coming for a golf tournament, because we have people that fly in from all over the country for this, and we want them to think, well, they didn't come here and just went to a golf tournament and went back to their hotel. I mean, they were here for 2 nights and they did all these things, and they leave exhausted and go, well, that was a good time.
Yeah. Well,
especially if you make it to the 1 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I know everyone talks about it, and it's really exciting.
And we go by the next day and pick up all the credit cards that are left at the last place, and so send them out all over the country. Yeah. So.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I don't. The next day I have to unload and get it back to the place. But that's what I'm there for. It's got about a minute left. Anything you want to throw in there real quick? For 30 seconds.
Anything I want to throw in there? Well, my favorite part is after it's all done, I go play golf the next day. So actually, that's the day I look forward to, because then I can just go relax and play golf. But just get involved. I mean, we're more than happy to take your donations. I mean, right now is the time to register. We'll probably be all full by the first part of April. There's no question. With a month to go in this golf tournament, it will be completely sold out.
And that's what we wanted. It's sold out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sold out is good. That doesn't mean there might be some room in the bocce tournament. Bocce tournament's new, so somebody really likes bocce out there. We could use. I think we got a couple teams signed up, but we're only looking for 8 or 12, and going with that. Cornhole, love to have you.
All right. Hey, we're here at the end of our show. Pretty sure we gave you some delicious stuff to chew on. Consider investing in communities in Stanislaus County with the resources like Make Dream Real and Boyett Petroleum. Stanislaus County is a great place to live. Just pick your town. Dale, thank you very much for being here and joining us today. All right, next week's show is about down payment assistance, what's out there, how to qualify, and who can use it. Go ahead, Erin, say goodbye.
Dale, I just want to say thank you for giving more. And that's the thing that makes the difference. You're one of the few that make the huge difference. And thank you.
All right, well, thank you for having us.
And you can listen to us on our podcast, so don't forget that.
Okay.
See you next week.
See you next week.